Jack. Today we're doing something a little different today. We're reviewing the original Demon Slayer one shot, what Demon Slayer could have been. And yeah, I stumbled upon this probably a few months ago, but today I really wanted to do it. Don't know why, probably just in the mood to do it, but yeah, let's get through it here. But as you can see, some of our interesting cast of characters we have here clearly looks like this vampire creature because they're more like I know it's implied they're still like demons, but they're referred more to like as vampires in this series, which is interesting because the demons in Demon Slayer do come off as actual demons, but with very much weaknesses similar to vampires. The sun, obviously. So yeah, again, some JoJo inspirations there with the vampires from Dio. And then we get this villain here. I'm assuming he's a villain. I could be wrong here. I couldn't find that much information on this, unfortunately, on the wiki and stuff. If there is, please let me know, because again, I'd be very interested to learn more about this. Like this character here, this vampire character named Zigzag. All right. And then his other character that's named I Am So Sorry Japan, Ubayushiki Abrabai, who keeps a kappa. Interesting. And then there's this character right here named Masatoda Kamado, who yeah, looks like looks a lot like Giyu, but of course, very different. As he's wearing Tanjiro's I want to say shuhakusho, I want to say more like cloak though. And then his younger brother, which is actually in Nezuko's clothing, but it's actually a male that got kicked out of Demon Slayer corpse because he likes to bite people. All right, and then Nagarai Akazumi, who doesn't talk anymore, but obviously he's the Tanjiro of this group. So again, very, very interesting to say the least. And he's wearing Zenitsu's cloak. And then we got Ikaro Sasaguro-chan, who was quickly turned to Inosuke because they needed more characters in the original story. Interesting. So the Inosuke we could have got could have been female, which would be very interesting, which probably explain the female face. Interesting, I gotta say, nonetheless. But and then we get Tanjiro's original design here with Peggy the pirate legs, one arm. Like holy freak, a very very different what we could have got here with Tanjiro. And the story is called Kagarigari. I'm so sorry about that. I don't know why my car's doing that, but yeah. So yes, my apologies for that. But yeah, let's just jump right into the review, shall we? Okay, we cut to the first page here of someone handing. I'm going to refer to them as their character names from the original story from Demon Slayer, because I don't want to butcher their names, to be honest. And this is what they were going to be in the first place, so I think it's pretty fair here. And we got actually, believe it or not, this is Sakuroji, the master of Tanjiro from the original series. It's implied that this is based off of him. So very cool stuff as he's giving him food. Then we cut to modern times as a vampire is killing a family, just slaughtering them and eating them. Then we cut to people, just talking about the disappearances of people, that more people are getting killed. It's crazy. 13 people have already been killed. They're not sure what to do about it. And we get Tanjiro just kind of walking through the scene. And we get a couple of police officers that stop him and say, "Wait, who are you? What are you holding?" And then the character actually just, pulls up his sleeves and it says number 11, which they're surprised. They're like, "Hey, wait a minute, stop right there," as he continues to move forward. We don't get anything else more about that, which is interesting. I'm pretty sure this was supposed to lead on to more about the Demon Slayer corps, that they're probably more well known than they currently are in the canon. So very interesting there. And then we get presumably Michael Jackson and Tamayo, the doctor from the Demon Slayer, the demon doctor. Essentially, them just kind of chatting a bit, saying, "Are he's like, all right, what's your answer?" She's like, "Yeah, let's cooperate." As she says, sometime someone came out of nowhere to start hunting humans right out in the open, and Michael's like, "Huh, it should have been honest from the beginning. It's getting closer to your territory. Your facade will break, and that will be on the move." He's referring to Tanjiro because they seem to know who Tanjiro is, more like his reputation that he goes around just slaughtering these demon vampires. And then we got actually, funny enough, yeah, we got Yushiro, who's also a part of this original cast here. Hey, a bird. Oh, he's pretty close. Neat. Anyway, as Tamayo is, just sits there as Yushiro says, he doesn't always come here, but if you coordinate, Master Tamayo will tell you. So she actually kept the first name there, which is interesting compared to other characters. I don't ever think they refer to his character as Michael Jackson, which is interesting. But as he says, don't be uppity, you little brat. Where'd you learn your manners from? And Yushiro says, "What? Why don't you beg for the for the ones is all in the West?" And they call him ECO. So again, as I said, they don't call Michael Jackson, but I'm going to call Michael Jackson. That's because that's clearly who he's supposed to be. As he says, I'd trash my entire head before I start begging for anything. So please stop. So again, they have a hierarchy here in this version of Demon Slayer, which is very interesting. Their hierarchy. Again, we get nothing else about it, but it does not seem that Michael Jackson is the one in charge of any of this here. And then they continue to talk amongst themselves about how they're going to deal with this other vampire because they want to deal with them, so that way they don't attract the attention of Tanjiro here to come, essentially, cause trouble and kill them. But then a death happens, and Yushiro, which has a very similar abilities to what he had in the original one, except this one seems to be more, I guess, based on visualized through the talismans, and he could keep them like in certain distances, so he could keep eyes on people. And he sees the vampire that's been going around killing people. He's struck again, and they're on the move. Michael Jackson is actually moves out, and he's like, "I see some outsider who intruded with no reason. Weird things, huh? Come to human territory to do boring things," as he kind of berates this demon here. And then this demon, supposedly this is the original design for Dorma, the upper two. That's possible. I haven't seen anything to back that up. If it's true, please let me know. But I'll be just referring to him as a vampire because that's essentially exactly what he is here, with very unique abilities. But yeah, as that's happening, we get to, Tamayo actually using her abilities that we saw when we first saw her in the original canon of the story, where she starts cutting herself. And as she does that, the vampire realizes, oh shoot, there's a spell going on. He turns around, notices what he doesn't catch on what she's doing yet. Then Michael Jackson turns his arm into like these weird, creepy like claws. And right before the vampire can realize, really do anything again, just to get placed upon him, and he's like, "Wait, what in the world? What is this hallucination here? What can I genjutsu?" And then Michael Jackson immediately starts a barrage on this vampire, and this vampire like gets hit, and he's like, "All right, yeah, I gotta back. I'm in trouble here." And as he does so, Michael Jackson continues to pour more attacks on him. But we see Tanjiro actually approaching from the distance. He's making his way here. But this vampire is just keeping up with Michael. He's avoiding any lethal attacks that are placed upon him. And the fight kind of continues as Yushiro is just saying, "Come on, guys, kill him, kill him! All right, you guys gotta do it. You guys gotta do it, man." And as that's happening, yeah, the vampire creates these massive spikes behind his back and impale Michael Jackson, which everyone's like, ah, well, that's it for Michael Jackson. But no, of course not. As Tamayo says, this is bad. Of the wind got stronger. The hallucination effects will disappear. So yeah, the illusions is not going to be working for this vampire so much. The vampire turns his attention towards her, and he's about to go for the attack. But then she immediately dodges the attack, and he's like, "Oh, how fun!" Now, not knowing the situation is something I didn't long for, as she thinks to herself. And right there, we see Michael Jackson healing from his wounds, as he says, "I should have given it all during that short strike. Even though he's fighting two of us, we still can't win." Which Michael Jackson, why wouldn't you go all out in a situation like this? I don't know why. And the vampire's like, "What's wrong? You're not coming? I'm going to come over there." And the Michael Jackson kind of just stays there as the vampire's like, "I'm not feeling any fear from him. What the heck is going on here?" And then he says, "You're so weak. You are really at the same. Are we really at the same race? Most people here are afraid of us. How did this happen? Could it be that there are only two of you left here, as in a population almost extinct? Is that the case? That isn't really funny." That would really be convenient for me, though. As he looks up, and Michael Jackson's like, "All right, would you like to take a break? Because I'm gonna go all out, and I'm gonna finish this fool here." And Tamayo's like, "Ah, shoot, oh no." But then we cut back to a flashback of Tanjiro in his training days with his master Sakuroji. Again, forgive me if I'm mispronouncing that. Pretty cool here. We see, him just training and training, and he's continuing to make his way forward. And then we get Yushiro seeing Tanjiro on the move, and then yeah, he's like, "All right, everyone, yeah, he's here. We're in trouble." And the vampire is like, "There's no more room in the in the forest." As he looks over, but yep, Tanjiro has arrived. He is here. And not so good for our vampire friend here, as Tanjiro draws his sword. And right there we get kanji, and my apologies, I don't know what that says. So again, my apologies for that. But of course, that's obviously the inspiration that got translated over to the original Demon Slayer. And we get the vampire just saying, "Haha, what, a hunter? Really gonna come after me?" As he kind of laughs. And he's like, "Using such a luxurious sword. Must be easy to cut off women's head with that." Okay, I could kind of see why people are calling him adorable now. But if that's really the only connection, I mean, come on. And then he immediately attacks, but Tanjiro moves forward. And this vampire's left arm is severed as Tanjiro just gives him a cold look. As this vampire realizes, okay, yeah, I'm in trouble here. I gotta turn around and finish him. He pulls out blades out of his arms, similar to cars from JoJo. More than likely a JoJo inspiration. Pretty neat there. But of course, that doesn't happen as his other arm gets cut off, but he shoots spikes out of his back. Tanjiro cuts those down too. And this demon's like, okay, yep. Where'd the other two go? Where'd the other two go? Oh, freak, they already bailed. I'm the only one here. Yeah, I'm in trouble. And he immediately starts running away because he's like, yeah, I got no chance here. He only smells like a human. Does that woman but also have some kind of illusion? What's going on here? These people must have had always known about this. So seemingly that Michael Jackson and Tamayo, they wanted to finish off this vampire, but if they couldn't do it, they could rely on Tanjiro to do it because Tanjiro would come here and just finish them. Which begs the question: is there an uneasy alliance between them, or is it that they know he's here and they baited this vampire out? Well, not baited him out, but kept him here fighting long enough to have Tanjiro arrive to finish him off in case they couldn't do it. Well, nonetheless, we cut to more of Tanjiro's backstory of his master, taking him to essentially, yeah, the final selection. This is essentially this version of it, as the person there saying, "Trapped in the forest for 19 with our 19 hungry demons, you must survive for 7 days." So very, very interesting, of course. And as that's happening, it says, "Only those that survive, only them." And then we cut to the vampire running around. He's running away. He's running. He's like, "Oh, I gotta get out of here. I can't do it." He jumps, but Tanjiro cuts his legs off. And the vampire is just saying, "This is so weird. How is this possible?" Then we cut to Tanjiro actually being extremely wounded here. And his master's saying, "No, don't worry. He'll live." And one of the guards is like, "Well, he has, yeah, he's done. He already lost an arm. I mean, yeah, he's not gonna be able to do good." And then his master is just saying, "No, this child fought off against 6 demons and essentially and he won. He got talent. He's got talent. And there's even if he essentially like loses both of his eyes, even his arms and legs, yeah, he'll still be worth more than all the other candidates here." Which again shows that he had high potential in this scenario. Then we cut to Tanjiro cutting off the demon's head, and the demon just falls dead. And we get Yushiro seeing that the demon has fallen, and he tells his master that that the demon's dead. He was killed by the human, and yeah. And she said, it's funny enough, she says the survivors of the final selection, the hunters who hunt too much, become hunted. So essentially, yeah, these hunters, the Demon Slayer corpse, these version of it, yeah, they hunt down again, similar to the other one where they hunt down demons and slay them essentially. But here, vampires. Then we get Tanjiro standing there victorious as he thinks to himself, "The smell hasn't disappeared yet. I wasted too much time on one of them. There is still 3 of them," as he implied that he's more than likely going to go after them in the next chapter. And then we get Michael Jackson coming out of the water eating a cat, and he's like, "Oh, what kind of thing was that? For now, let's just stay hidden like a rats." Being very, very fierce. Imagine this Michael Jackson. This Michael Jackson's hiding. He's hiding from Tanjiro. And I get that the other one is somewhat doing the same with the original Tanjiro we know, but it's more because, the lineage, his lineage, and the earrings, kind of gives him a PTSD. Then we get to Tanjiro being with his master. His master's dying. And his master's like, all right, what are you waiting for? Hurry up and go. You got to get going. And then the bird arrives saying, that there's some demons out there. You got to go kill them all. They're disarraying the order. You got to go take care of them. So, talking crows. Interesting that they kept with this. Then we cut to the last page here of Tanjiro just eating some ramen, and the police guard coming in saying, "Yo, you're still here? The murders that happen around here. Anything? You know anyone that fits?" And the cop's like, "What is your order? I heard some bad rumors. What is This is what someone with one arm." And then he says, "Kasasoba, please," which he's referring to Tanjiro. The Tanjiro just places 2 coins down, saying, "No problem." And that's the end of the chapter here. And yeah, very, very interesting, I gotta say the least. I do believe if if it continued this way, I could see it being popular, but I don't think it would be anywhere near as popular as it is, as the current iteration is, for sure. This character being super overpowered, I'm not a fan of. I think very, very, very few mediums are able to pull off the overpowered character. I don't think there's any isekai anime or manga that I've read that pulled it off well. I think the closest would probably be Overlord, but even then, I'm like, okay, come on, because again, I guess he's the villain. He's trying to doing villainous things, and how is he gonna do that if he's a low tier villain? But he has to be stronger because he has all the things that he saved when he was playing translated to the new world that he's in. But still, I'm like, I'm not too sure being that overpowered. I'm not a fan of that. I think the only thing that's ever really done it overpowered super well would be One Punch Man. Saitama does very, very well in that one, and Murata doing that story together is very, very good. One Punch Man. So yeah, doing the overpowered main protagonist does not always go well. And here, I don't think it would have played out very, very well. That he's able to take down these demons like essentially effortlessly with just one arm, and then later we're seeing him with 2 peg legs. So yeah, I don't know how this would have played out. Probably would have just been more of probably would have been even shorter than the original iteration of him just hunting demons, and that's probably it. So yeah, that really concludes my review. If I had to review this again, not terrible, but not good. So I would put it a below average, 4 out of 10. If they ever made another chapter of this, I'd be very interested to read it, but I would not want them to serialize this series at all. I don't think it'd be worth the effort, to be honest, to see how Demon Slayer could have been. I think the current iteration we got well, I won't say it's, and in writing terms, not the best, but it's actually very fun and entertaining. That's all I gotta say. If you listen this far, I greatly, greatly appreciate it. And yeah, more videos will come your way in the future, and I hope I was able to keep y'all entertained. Take care. Have a good one. Later, guys.